Have you ever stopped to think about how fast the business world is, well, changing?
It's pretty incredible, isn't it?
And what's really behind that speed? Often it boils down to data, something we all use constantly.
Every day.
Right. Whether it's picking a movie or, a huge company planning its next move, data's right there. It's becoming absolutely essential.
Completely.
So today we're doing a deep dive into the global business intelligence and analytics market. We've got this really comprehensive market forecast report.
And the numbers are quite something.
They really are. Some truly transformative growth figures. So our mission here is to sort of cut through the noise, pull out the key nuggets from the report.
Yeah, get to the heart of it.
Exactly. Understand why this sector is not just growing, but frankly, exploding. And what that really means for how decisions get made everywhere, from tiny startups to massive corporations.
Okay.
Okay, let's unpack this.
What's really fascinating here, I think, is that it's not just about, big numbers on a page.
Right.
We're seeing a fundamental strategic shift. Data isn't just supporting anymore. It's really taking the lead role in how businesses operate.
The main character, you might say.
Precisely. It signals this huge move towards data-driven strategies, and that affects pretty much every organization out there. Think about it. For years, decisions were maybe based on gut feeling or, last quarter's results.
Sure. The old way.
Yeah. But now, with BI, they can potentially predict tomorrow's demand or figure out why someone clicked away from a web page. That's the real transformation we're talking about.
And speaking of impressive numbers, the scale is just huge. You really redefined growth.
Okay.
So the business intelligence and analytics market back in 2021 was valued at nearly $19 billion.
19 billion. Okay.
Then, just 4 years later, by 2025, it's expected to hit over $27 billion.
That's a big jump already.
It is. But wait, here's where it gets really interesting. By 2033, the projection is a staggering $55 billion.
Wow, 55.
Yeah. That works out to a compound annual growth rate, a CAGR, of about 9.3%. Robust, to say the least.
9.3% year over year. That's significant.
Let that sink in for a second. This market isn't just expanding. It's on track to more than double in size just between 2025 and 2033.
Doubling in roughly 8 years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's less an expansion, more like a complete overhaul of how businesses work.
And if we connect that to the bigger picture, well, this incredible trajectory, it points to this rising, almost insatiable need for sophisticated tools.
Like what, specifically?
We're talking things like data visualization, turning complex data into, easy-to-read dashboards.
Right, makes sense.
Real-time analytics, which give you insights into what's happening now, not yesterday.
Crucial for fast decisions.
Absolutely. And predictive modeling, using past data to forecast what might happen next. This growth isn't just happening, it's a direct result of data becoming this new business imperative.
So companies feel they have to adopt these tools.
Pretty much. They simply can't compete effectively or innovate or even just run efficiently without them anymore.
Okay, so that's the global picture. Huge growth. But how does this look region by region? The report breaks this down, right? Showing different speeds, different leaders.
It does, and that's where you see some really interesting dynamics.
Let's start with North America. Historically, they're often early adopters in tech.
True.
And they led the market in 2021 with around $6.9 billion.
Okay.
The projection for 2033, nearly $19 billion. That's a solid 8.8% CAGR.
Still very strong growth.
Definitely. And within North America, the U.S. is, well, the giant. It goes from about $5.85 billion in 2021 to almost $16 billion by 2033.
Makes sense. The bulk of the market.
Yeah. But Canada and Mexico are also showing strong, robust growth, adding to that regional demand.
So North America is a major player, steady growth.
Right. But if you're looking for the fastest growth engine, we need to look east to Asia Pacific.
Ah, yes. The acceleration there is remarkable.
It really is. This region is seeing the most rapid rise, from just over $5 billion in 2021.
Which was already significant.
Right, to a projected $16.2 billion by 2033. And that's driven by a powerful CAGR of over 10%, 10.16%.
That's a fantastic point about Asia. It's a huge part of this whole story. You often see countries there kind of leapfrogging older tech.
Skipping steps almost.
Exactly. They're embracing digital transformation right from the start, building huge digital native populations. It's less about upgrading old systems, more about building new data-first setups.
Yeah.
And within Asia Pacific, you see some real powerhouses. China's leading with a CAGR over 10%, 10.38% to be exact. That That puts them on track for over $4.6 billion by 2033.
Impressive.
But the real standout, maybe, is India. It actually has the highest CAGR in the entire region, almost 11%. 10.99%,
Wow.
projected to grow to over $2.65 billion by 2033. And then you've got Japan, South Korea, Australia, Singapore, Taiwan, all scaling fast. And Southeast Asia as a whole seeing a CAGR of nearly 11%, 10.85%.
So rapid adoption across the board there.
It signifies a huge strategic push for businesses in those areas. They're moving fast.
That incredible pace in Asia Pacific, it kind of makes you wonder about the more established markets. Like Europe, how are they keeping up?
Europe is definitely still a very substantial market, no question.
Yeah, the numbers show it grew from over $4.1 billion in 2021, projected to hit $11.35 billion by 2033. That's a solid CAGR, too, 8.82%.
Absolutely solid. And Germany, interestingly, shows a particularly high CAGR within Europe, almost 9.5%, 9.499%.
Why Germany, do you think?
Well, likely tied to its strong industrial base, that focus on manufacturing efficiency, Industry 4.0 initiatives, data is key there. They're projected to reach over $2.56 billion. The UK is also seeing robust growth.
Okay.
It is interesting, though, to see the contrast with Russia. Still positive growth, but a lower CAGR, around 7.1%.
Any thoughts on why?
Could be market maturity, different investment priorities, perhaps, in enterprise software. It just shows that even within a continent, the pace isn't uniform, the drivers vary.
Got it. So it's not just the big established economies. The report also covers emerging markets, right? South America, Middle East, Africa.
Yes, and they're showing really strong growth, too. It underlines that this isn't just a Western or Asian phenomenon, it's truly global.
Okay, so South America revenues climbing towards $3.8 billion by 2033. KGR over 9.5%, 9.556%. Brazil's leading there.
Strong growth indeed.
Then the Middle East set to grow to over $3.26 billion, KGR around 9.4%, 9.4%. And the UAE really stands out, doesn't it?
It does. A remarkable KGR over 10%, 10.095%. Shows a real focus on diversification and tech investment.
And finally, Africa, showing significant promise. Projected growth to over $1.5 billion, 1,522.08 million by 2033, KGR around 8.7%, 8.722%, with South Africa leading.
Yeah, what this pattern tells us really is that digital transformation, this recognition of data's value, it's everywhere now.
Not limited to certain regions.
Exactly, across all these diverse markets. Each might be moving at its own speed, maybe facing different challenges, but they're all fundamentally heading in the same direction, towards a future run on data.
So we've looked at the massive global growth, the regional hotspots, the sheer scale of this market. Let's bring it back. What does all this actually mean for you listening, for the businesses you deal with every day? Why should we care about this beyond the big numbers?
Well, it means this whole business intelligence and analytics market isn't just changing things. It's cementing itself as a fundamental pillar, a cornerstone for basically any digital-first business, no matter the size or where it is.
So it's a baseline now, not just nice to have.
That's exactly what the report suggests, this
Yeah.
shift towards, say, agile cloud platforms, sophisticated predictive analytics to see what's coming. And having those real-time data dashboards everywhere, that's not just trendy anymore. The report calls it a new business imperative.
A business imperative. Strong words.
It is, because it's about optimizing how you use resources, finding new ways to make money, creating really personalized customer experiences, even spotting market shifts before they happen.
Okay, so that imperative, it's really changing how decisions are made, how success is measured, how companies make money.
Fundamentally, it's the shift from reacting based on guesswork to making proactive, informed strategic moves.
Right.
Think about a small online shop using analytics to figure out which products to promote based on what people browse.
Yeah.
All the way up to a Fortune 500 company using it to manage its global supply chain minute by minute. BI and analytics are the engines driving that precision.
It really is hard to imagine going back, isn't it? Making big calls without this level of insight.
Almost impossible in today's market.
Okay, so wrapping up the main points here. The BI and analytics market is seeing absolutely massive, undeniable growth worldwide.
Huge growth.
And it's not just tech for tech's sake. It's driven by this deep, universal need for data-driven insights. It cuts across every industry, every part of the world.
That's the core message. It's pervasive. So maybe a final thought to leave you with. Given this unstoppable rise of business intelligence, how might our very definition of smart decision-making change in the next few years?
Good question.
What new skills might become really crucial for individuals, for whole organizations to truly thrive in this world that's becoming more and more data-centric every day? Something to chew on. Welcome to the deep dive. Imagine just drowning in an ocean of data. I mean, literally petabytes flowing in every single day from, well, everywhere in your business.
That's the reality now, isn't it, for so many organizations?
Yeah, and the challenge isn't really collecting data anymore. It's pulling out that crucial, actionable insight, without getting totally overwhelmed.
Right. And it's become incredibly clear that timely, insightful analytics are, well, they're not optional anymore.
No, they're absolutely foundational to success.
Precisely. So our mission today is really to cut through all that noise. We want to highlight the most important insights, the core drivers, the big challenges, and those really exciting future trends.
Yeah, the ones shaping this whole transformative industry.
Exactly. We want to give you a shortcut, basically, to being well-informed on a topic that touches, almost every aspect of modern business.
Okay, so let's dig in. What's truly fueling this explosion in business intelligence and analytics? When we looked into it, it seems to boil down to one fundamental thing.
Which is,
This massive increasing demand for data-driven decisions. I mean, we're seeing businesses across every single vertical, healthcare, finance, retail, manufacturing, all leveraging these powerful BI tools. It's fascinating how these platforms are now interpreting real-time data.
and not just interpreting it, they're using it to uncover trends, optimize whole workflows.
And even forecast future outcomes pretty accurately.
It's really more than just a trend. I'd say it's a strategic imperative now.
How so?
Well, as global competition just gets fiercer, the demand for actionable insights, and not just from neat structured databases, but also from, messy stuff like emails or social media.
Right, the unstructured data.
That demand has put BI and analytics right at the center of strategic planning. It's about moving past gut feelings.
The precise data-backed choices.
Exactly. Choices that give you a real, measurable competitive edge.
And that surge in data-driven decisions you mentioned, it feels directly tied to another huge trend.
Let me guess. Big data than the cloud.
You got it. The sheer volume of big data coupled with the amazing flexibility of cloud computing.
We are talking about just vast oceans of information pouring in.
From everything. IoT devices, social media feeds, online shopping, all the enterprise software.
It's a deluge. And companies need robust tools to actually manage and make sense of it all.
So how are they coping?
Well, a really crucial development here is how cloud-based BI tools are stepping up. They offer incredible scalability, flexibility.
Without needing those massive upfront investments in IT infrastructure, right?
Precisely. That used to be such a huge hurdle.
Yeah, I remember.
So this means that both, nimble startups and these huge global enterprises can actually harness serious analytical power.
Cost effectively, too.
And efficiently.
Okay.
It's really democratizing access to something that was, frankly, pretty elite capability and not that long ago.
Okay, but maybe the real game changer here. Could it be the integration of artificial intelligence and machine learning?
Oh, absolutely. That's where things get really interesting.
Modern analytics tools are now doing things that, well, frankly felt like science fiction just a few years back.
Like automating data interpretation, boosting forecasting accuracy.
And spotting hidden trends with just incredible speed and precision. What's the most, maybe, surprising way you've seen AI impact these tools?
Surprising. I think it's the shift from reactive to proactive. AI-powered BI isn't just showing you what happened.
It's telling you what's likely to happen.
Exactly. Or even when it might happen. For instance, identifying the exact moment a critical machine might fail, maybe preventing costly downtime.
Wow. Okay.
Or pinpointing which customers are most likely to churn before they even think about leaving.
That kind of foresight, it must change everything.
It does. From real-time monitoring to sophisticated predictive modeling, it's fundamentally transforming traditional BI systems. They're becoming intelligent ecosystems.
Ecosystems that proactively support decision makers, not just report on the past.
You got it. And that's reshaping entire business strategies.
But, with all this incredible momentum, it can't all be smooth sailing. This landscape is evolving so fast, there must be some real challenges companies are hitting.
Oh, definitely. It's not without its hurdles.
One of the big ones seems to be the cost, right? The high cost of actually implementing and operating these systems.
Yeah, that's a big one. And we're not just talking software licenses or hardware upgrades.
No, there's the training, the ongoing support, the maintenance.
Yeah.
It adds up.
It's a substantial investment, no doubt. And it's a significant hurdle particularly, I think, for many small and mid-sized businesses.
So this financial barrier, it can really limit the democratization you mentioned earlier.
It can.
Yeah.
It potentially creates a divide where, those with deeper pockets get a significant leg up.
But what about the argument that not investing now will cost them way more down the line in lost opportunities?
That's a classic dilemma, isn't it? It's
Mm.
a valid point. There's that short-term cost versus the long-term strategic need. It's a tough calculation.
Okay, cost is one thing. Then there's the ever-present issue of data privacy and security.
Huge. The stakes are incredibly high when these BI tools are processing sensitive data, enterprise data, consumer data.
Yeah, think about compliance. GDPR, IPay, all those global frameworks, it's absolutely non-negotiable.
And the consequences if something goes wrong, they're severe.
Crippling financial penalties, for one.
And potentially worse, a devastating loss of public trust. That's incredibly hard to win back.
Which explains why industries like finance and healthcare dealing with super sensitive info are often extra cautious.
Exactly. Their concern, while understandable, sometimes means they delay full-scale BI adoption, even when they see the benefits.
It's that complex risk-reward calculation again.
It really is.
And finally, another significant obstacle we kept hearing about, the skills gap.
Ah, yes, the human element.
For these BI tools to actually deliver value, you need a workforce that's fluent in data science, analysis, digital systems.
I'm finding that talent is tough. Many organizations just don't have that pool readily available internally.
And it's not just about hiring data scientists, is it?
No, not at all. Even the decision makers themselves sometimes lack the necessary data literacy.
You mean the ability to actually interpret the dashboards, question the insights, act on them?
Precisely. And if that's missing, it can lead to serious underutilization of these powerful BI systems.
So they just don't unlock the full potential.
Right. The tools become expensive shelfwares, basically, if people can't effectively use the insights they generate.
Okay, so we have costs, security fears, and the skills gap. Those are pretty big challenges.
They are significant.
But despite those, the market keeps evolving, and there are some incredibly promising trends emerging. One that really stands out, I think, is the rise of self-service BI tools.
Yes, this is a big one for usability.
Are we talking about finally ending the days of the poor intern trying to stitch together 20 different spreadsheets?
Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
Or at least making it much, much easier. These platforms empower non-technical users. Think sales managers, marketing folks to create their own custom dashboards, reports, visualizations.
Independently. Yeah. Without needing to wait for the IT department.
Exactly. They often use really intuitive drag-and-drop interfaces. And crucially, many now have natural language query capabilities, meaning someone without any coding background can literally just type a question in plain English, like, show me sales trends for our top 5 products in Europe last quarter, broken down by region.
And it just generates the report or visual.
Instantly, often as an interactive dashboard. It's like having a data analyst on demand.
Wow, that really fosters a data-driven culture throughout the whole organization, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. It's a true democratization of analytics power.
Okay, beyond self-service, another fascinating trend, especially for workflow, seems to be embedded analytics.
Bringing the insights to where the work happens.
Right. Companies integrating BI functions directly into their everyday apps like CRM, ERP, HR systems.
Yeah, this is really smart. It provides users with contextual, in-the-moment insights.
So analytics becomes part of the actual workflow.
Instead of a separate place you have to go log into and look things up. Imagine a sales rep seeing predictive churn alerts right there in their customer record in the CRM.
Or a logistics manager optimizing routes based on real-time traffic data shown within their delivery app.
Exactly. It's a crucial shift, moving from reactive analysis, looking back, to proactive intelligence.
Which streamlines decision-making right across the board.
Significantly.
And one more thing especially relevant today with remote work and everything, mobile BI and real-time data visualization.
Can't forget mobile access. Executives, field teams, everyone demands seamless access to dashboards and insights on the go.
Makes sense. Need to make decisions quickly wherever you are.
And mobile-compatible platforms are delivering just that. They facilitate agile, informed decisions in industries like logistics, retail, manufacturing, you name it.
And the visualization part.
That's key too. Enhanced visual tools are making it much easier to interpret really complex data sets quickly.
So people can communicate insights more clearly, more effectively?
Yes, often with just a quick glance at their phone or tablet. The visual clarity is paramount.
Okay, so sort of wrap up our deep dive today. The business intelligence and analytics market is clearly riding this powerful wave of innovation.
Definitely. It's constantly tackling complex challenges while at the same time really shaping the future of how we interpret data.
The whole space just feels like it's becoming more intelligent
More inclusive, thanks to self-service and embedded tools.
and undeniably more integral to business success.
It's a field in constant motion, always pushing the boundaries of what data can tell us, and crucially, how fast we can act on it.
So as we finish up, here's maybe a final thought for you, our listener, to mull over.
Oh, I.
As analytics becomes more and more embedded, more accessible to literally everyone in an organization, what does it truly mean to be data literate in the future?
Good question. Does the bar get higher or lower?
And maybe even more profoundly, how will our own daily lives, not just our businesses, be reshaped by having these instant, always-on insights at our fingertips?